Be me 24 years old, certified wage cuck in some soulless data entry job. Spend my days staring at spreadsheets until my eyes bleed. Hobbies include video, browsing this godforsaken website, and cultivating a collection of rare and exotic strains of social anxiety. Built like a chopstick with a bad posture, my friends list is shorter than a midget's attention span. Basically just one dude named Chad. Yes. His real name is Chad. A cruel joke by his boomer parents. Chad is a normie of the highest order. But for some reason he keeps me around, probably as a cautionary tale for his other, more successful friends. MFW. I'm the before picture in the self-improvement ad of his life. One Friday, Chad hits me up, "Yo, Anon, you doing anything tonight?" Of course I'm not. Unless you count reorganizing my Steam library for the third time this week. Nah, just chilling, Chad. Perfect. My cousin is a firefighter and they're having a party at the Firehouse tonight. You should come. A party with actual three-dimensional people. My brain immediately short-circuits. Every fiber of my being screams no, a chorus of autistic screeching, but then I remember my New Year's resolution. Try not to be such a pathetic loser. It's already May, and so far I've failed spectacularly. Maybe this is my chance to turn things around. Plus, Chad's cousin is a legit firefighter. That's kinda cool. I guess probably a bunch of Chads there, but also probably free beer. The eternal struggle of a beta male. Social terror versus the allure of free booze. Free booze wins, as it always does. Sure man, sounds cool. What's the occasion? Chad, just a party. They do it every few months. It's a good time. I'll pick you up at 8. And so my fate was sealed. The next few hours are a blur of frantic preparation. I shower for the first time in 3 days. A monumental effort try on every shirt I own. They all look like they were made for a different species. Settle on a black t-shirt with a barely visible band logo, the universal uniform of the socially inept. Douse myself in Axe body spray. The scent of desperation and regret. By the time Chad arrives, I'm a nervous wreck, sweating through my cool exterior. We pull up to the Firehouse. It's a big brick building with a huge garage door. I can hear the muffled sound of music and laughter from inside. My heart is pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. A drum solo of pure panic. We walk in and it's exactly what I expected, and 100 times more intimidating. The place is huge. With a giant fire truck parked in the middle of the room, there are firefighters everywhere. All built like brick shithouses with square jaws and easy smiles. They're laughing and drinking with a swarm of Stacys and Beckys, all of whom are way out of my league. I feel like a hobbit who's wandered into a convention of Gandalf's. Chad, being the social butterfly he is, immediately starts mingling. He's slapping backs, shaking hands, a whirlwind of normie charisma. I just stand there, trying to look like I belong, which is to say, I look like a lost child in a supermarket. A firefighter who looks like he could bench press a car claps me on the shoulder. "Hey man, grab a beer," he booms, pointing to a row of kegs. I nod meekly and scurry over to the alcohol. My only refuge in this sea of social interaction. I pour myself a beer, and then another, because liquid courage is the only kind I can afford. The first few beers go down easy. A blessed numbness spreading through my veins. I find a quiet corner and start observing the party from a safe distance, like a wildlife photographer studying a herd of majestic and slightly terrifying beasts. As the alcohol takes hold, my anxiety starts to recede, replaced by a misplaced sense of confidence. I start to think, hey, I can do this. I can be a normal person. This is, of course, a lie my brain tells me before it makes a series of very, very bad decisions. I decide to try and socialize, a task for which I am woefully unprepared. I see a group of people talking near the fire truck and decide to make my move. I walk over, beer in hand, trying to remember how normal humans interact. I think they use words and smile and don't stare at their shoes the whole time. I arrive at the group just as one of the firefighters is telling a story, so I'm climbing the ladder and the whole roof is about to collapse. Everyone is hanging on his every word, their eyes wide with admiration. This is my moment, my chance to contribute to the conversation. I wait for a pause, and then I say, with all the drunken confidence I can muster, "Did you know that a fire truck's ladder can reach up to 100 feet? The group goes silent. They all turn to look at me, a collective expression of confusion on their faces. The firefighter who was telling the story just stares at me. "Yeah, man," he says slowly. "I know. I'm a firefighter." My brain, in a moment of alcohol-fueled genius, decides to double down. It's just a fun fact, I say a little too loudly. I know a lot of fun facts. The group exchanges awkward glances, and then, as if by some silent agreement, they all turn away from me and resume their conversation. I am left standing there, alone. My fun fact, hanging in the air like a bad smell MFW, I'm the human equivalent of a pop-up ad. I retreat back to the safety of the kegs. My face burning with shame, I pour myself another beer. And then another. Trying to drown the memory of my social faux pas, the rest of the night becomes a blur of alcohol and poor choices. I remember trying to impress a girl by telling her about my high-level World of Warcraft character. She was not impressed. I remember challenging a firefighter to an arm wrestling match I lost. Badly, I remember trying to slide down the fire pole, only to get stuck halfway down and have to be helped out by two very amused firefighters. Each new failure is a fresh wave of humiliation. And each wave is met with another beer at some point. Chad finds me. "Anon, you're a mess," he says, a look of pity in his eyes. "I'm fine." I slur. "I'm having a great time." Chad just shakes his head and leads me over to a couch. "Just sit here and drink some water, okay?" I nod, but as soon as he leaves, I'm back at the kegs. A man on a mission to drink myself into a state of blissful ignorance. The last thing I remember clearly is standing on a table, singing a sea shanty at the top of my lungs. I don't know any sea shanties, so I'm just making up the words as I go. It's a song about a drunken sailor who falls in love with a mermaid. And it's terrible, a crime against music, but in my drunken state. I think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever created. The firefighters are all laughing. Some of them are even clapping along. I feel like a rock star, a god among men, and then everything goes black. I wake up to the sound of birds chirping. A gentle morning breeze on my face. My head is pounding. A relentless, throbbing pain that threatens to split my skull in two. My mouth is as dry as the Sahara, and my stomach feels like it's been through a war. I try to open my eyes, but the sunlight is a physical assault, a searing pain that forces them shut again. Where the hell am I? I'm not in my bed, that much is certain. My bed is a soft, welcoming sanctuary of self-pity and regret. This is something else. I'm lying on something hard and cold, and I can feel the rough texture of concrete against my cheeks. Slowly, cautiously, I manage to crack open my eyelids. I'm in a garage, a very large garage, and in the middle of the garage, looming over me like a giant red beast, is a fire truck. Oh God, I'm still at the firehouse. I sit up, a wave of nausea washing over me. The party is over. The place is empty, save for a few stray plastic cups and the lingering smell of stale beer. I'm alone, a solitary figure in a vast, echoing space. My phone is dead, of course, and I have no idea what time it is. My wallet is still in my pocket, which is a small miracle, but my keys are gone. I check all my pockets, a rising sense of panic in my chest. No keys. I'm stranded, a hungover castaway on an island of firefighting equipment. I stumble to my feet, my legs unsteady, and start to look for a way out. The big garage door is closed, and there's no way I can open it on my own. I try a side door, but it's locked. I'm trapped, a prisoner of my own drunken stupidity. I wander around the firehouse, my footsteps echoing in the silence. I find the kitchen, a gleaming stainless steel affair that looks like it's never been used. I find a locker room, with rows of heavy-duty firefighter gear hanging on hooks. I find a gym, with more weights than I've ever seen in my life, but I don't find any people or any unlocked doors. I'm starting to despair, to resign myself to my fate. I'll probably die here. A cautionary tale for future generations of pathetic losers. Here lies Anon. My tombstone will read, "He came for the free beer, and he never left." I'm about to curl up in a corner and wait for the sweet release of death when I hear a noise. It's a soft, whimpering sound coming from one of the offices. My heart leaps into my throat. Is it a ghost? A firehouse demon? A fellow drunk who's even more pathetic than I am? I creep towards the office, my heart pounding, and slowly push open the door. And that's when I see it, the plot twist to end all plot twists. Sitting in a large, comfortable-looking office chair is a Dalmatian, a beautiful, spotty dog with sad, soulful eyes, and it's wearing a firefighter's hat. The hat is way too big for it, of course, and it's slumped down over one of its eyes, giving it a rakish, slightly comical look. The dog looks up at me, its tail giving a tentative wag. It whimpers again. A soft, pleading sound, and then I notice what's on the desk in front of it. It's a half-eaten box of donuts. And a copy of The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The dog has been reading Sun Tzu. My hungover brain struggles to process this information. A Dalmatian, in a firefighter's hat. Reading a classic work of military strategy, it's the most surreal thing I've ever seen. A Dali painting come to life. The dog barks, a soft, friendly sound, and nudges the book with its nose. And then, I swear to God, it winks at me. I just stand there, my mouth agape. For what feels like an eternity, I'm not hungover anymore. I'm not trapped. I'm not a pathetic loser. I'm a man who has just witnessed a miracle, a man who has just seen the truth of the universe. And the truth is that the universe is a strange, beautiful, and utterly ridiculous place. The dog barks again. And then it hops off the chair and trots over to a filing cabinet. It nudges the cabinet with its nose, and a key falls out of the lock and onto the floor. My key. The dog looks at me, a self-satisfied expression on its face. And then it goes back to its chair, its donuts, and its book. I pick up my key, my hand trembling, and I back out of the office. A sense of awe and wonder filling my soul. I find the side door, unlock it, and step out into the morning sunlight. The world seems different now, brighter, more vibrant. I have a new sense of purpose, a new understanding of my place in the cosmos. I walk home, a man reborn, a man who has seen the face of God. And it was the face of a Dalmatian in a firefighter's hat. I get back to my apartment, and the first thing I do is throw away all my Vidya and my collection of anime figurines. I'm a new man now, a man of action, a man of purpose. I go to the library and check out a copy of The Art of War. I'm going to read it. I'm going to understand it. I'm going to live by it because that's what the dog would want me to do, and I'm not going to let him down. The next day, I quit my job. I enroll in a firefighting academy. I'm going to become a firefighter, a hero, a man who saves lives. And one day, I'm going to go back to that firehouse, and I'm going to find that dog, and I'm going to thank him. I'm going to thank him for showing me the way, for showing me the path to enlightenment. And maybe, just maybe, we'll sit down together and discuss the finer points of military strategy. Me and the dog, two warriors, two scholars, two kindred spirits. It's a long road ahead, a hard road. But I'm ready for it. I'm not anon anymore. I'm a man with a destiny. And my destiny is to be the best damn firefighter the world has ever seen, all thanks to a drunken night, a firehouse party, and a very, very wise dog. MFW. A Dalmatian is a better life coach than Tony Robbins.